All right, welcome back, gamers. So we're jumping into a slightly different video today, as requested by one of my viewers. We're gonna lean back in the chair here so I can go over this. So this is a page called mobalytics.gg. If you're not aware of this, you can jump in here. Mine defaults me to Froden's page. I don't know if he's just like really hooked up with them and he gets the intro page, but seems to always puts me here. Froden's a very good member of the TFT community, very knowledgeable, pro level player. Very engaged with the TFT community, and I believe he's a streamer as well. You can go check those games. I don't really watch Froden that much, nothing against the player, but I have my own specific viewers or streamers and like people on YouTube I like to watch. But I've seen a couple of his videos, and he's very knowledgeable. So if you want, go check him out. But at the beginning of a set, you'll always get like TFT snapshots. Now the viewer requested me to do a TFT snapshot right now for set 11. I've played quite a few games, but in the PBE, the problem with that is that the snapshot's ever evolving. So they'll do multiple changes in PBE. Like they'll shut it down a couple times a day. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, okay, we got to fix this. We got to fix that. This unit's like performing really like overpowered right now. We're going to dial back these stats a little bit to make more balanced. There's this champion's got a bug. We got to switch that. So the actual freaking meta comp is constantly evolving. So that's why he doesn't have his rank right now. Normally it'd be like S, 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 S. Then it'd be like A. And you go all the way down and it would show you all these different rankings, right? And that's why they're not listed right now. These are just like probably the ones that like Froden's showcasing, saying these are really good comps. If you're on Mobalytics, this is one of the pages I would go to if I was actually trying to play metas. If you guys have watched my videos, I normally play like I don't want to call them anti-meta, but I play like underdogs. I like to play team comps that aren't as heavily contested, especially when I'm climbing, because I don't want to be the sixth guy on the board trying to run story weavers, or like it's real reroll last set. Like, four people are playing. You're like, well, I'm not going to contest that, right? That's just the way I like to play. But you can click on these pages. This is like recommended positioning. Like, obviously, this is just like a quick snapshot of how you could do it. You wouldn't want to always put your units in these like hexes. Like some people will follow these to the exact T. It's not clean. People position around you. They'll like, this is just like, hey, this is a good spot where you can get these units set up. You're gonna have to continuously move these units. Obviously, it'll break down certain tiers that are good for these type of units, or augments. Sorry, I'll show you like a silver, gold, and platinum augment. What would be good with this actual team comp? It shows you what they are. You can go into them and see what their passives are, like Arcanist. That's something I'm going to be playing a lot of. I'm going to be trying to do Arcanist 8 games. In set 10, they kind of dropped the ball with Spellweavers. Spellweavers, like when you got to Spellweaver 9, felt very underwhelming. And before they even patched it, it used to be Spellweaver 10, which was even harder to hit. And once you got it, you're like, oh, this kind of sucks, I think the units that actually have that are Arcanists in this game are actually going to play very well. So for the people that ask me what I'm doing, I'm going to be trying to do some Arcanist games. I'm going to be doing some Ghostly games. Anything with Dryads is pretty fun right now. There's no comp right now because it's a new set that I'd say is like, this is trash. And this set, they have a lot of synergistic, or well, I guess comps with synergies. I think I might just made up a word there. A lot of comps with synergies, right? So they'll have like comps that are just 4 units. Kind of like Jazz. Jazz would be like Bard, Lucian, and MF, right? There might have something like, it's not Arcanist, it's Altruist, I think. There's only 4 of them. Dragon Lords, there's only 4. Porcelain, if I remember correctly, there's only 4. So there's like units you can cut in. There's gonna be a lot of like hybrid comps. So this one here is like just straight 744 or 742, but you go down to other comps. Here you got 5, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2. So you're mix and matching a lot of different team comps. Like things like this will be very powerful early in the game. I don't find linear builds maybe performing as well because there's just a lot of team strategy strength you can get from like combining certain team comps. One linear build that will do very well is going to be Story Weavers. If you haven't played, oh, sorry, that's a download button. If you haven't played Story Weavers yet, I'm sure I can find them on here somewhere. Scroll down. Mythic, Attack Speed, Dust Fates. You need to find something with Kale. Like this looks, no, that's Umbral. Umbral's gonna be really good, guys. He doesn't even have Star Weavers on here. Sheesh. Anyways, like this page has already changed since I went to it an hour ago. Like, yeah, they're updated 21 minutes ago, so it's already changed. Like, so it's like, how do you keep up with something that's changing all the time, right? Deadly Dumplings. this comp, actually, I can tell you right now, is pretty strong. Trick Shot, Lovers, which is a single 5-cost champion. That's the Zaya and Rakan. You got your 4 Bruisers and your 3 Story Weavers. So this trade right here, I can highlight it for you. Story Weaver 7 is very effective right now in the PBE. You get a Kale. Kale gets 3 different buffs that you can be applied to where people are going triple red. It's just, you'll see it once you play. Kale will give you an option for your first one, your second one, your third one. That's at a single cost, 2 cost, and a 3 cost. So once Kale's 3 cost, she'll have 3 different buffs. So, and that's just by, I think it's just by getting to 7. That's how you get Kale 3. Yeah. And then, so you go down, there's going to be a lot of different team comps here. Like, I'm not going to go through all these. I know Azir right now is really strong. I would definitely recommend if you can get him as a 5-cost unit, try to cut him in your team somewhere. Most of the 5-cost champions are actually in a really good spot. Anything with Ashe, you'll see a lot of games with Ashe or Aurelia. Aurelia's a 5-cost. Let's see if we can find an Ashe build here. She'll probably be highlighted somewhere in here. There she is. Porcelain Arrows. Let's see what they're doing for Porcelain Arrows. You got your Warden, 4 Porcelain, which is huge, 3 Arcanists, 2 Ghostly, and 2 Snipers. You see what I meant? How they're like they're combining a lot of different team comps. And Ashe is going to be your carry. She's in an extremely good spot right now. If I could see people playing one champion a lot, there's going to be a lot of Ashe. It's going to be like Ezreal. Obviously, the mechanics aren't the same, but she's just like, right now, she's top tier. Like, she's doing a lot of damage. So you won't be able to see exactly the meta comp probably until about the first week, right? And that's not a big deal. Like, it's 2 days it's coming out. What I'd suggest you do is maybe make a second account. That's what I've done in so many sets. I've had a second account. I've actually had multiple accounts, but and it's like I had 2 accounts in set 10. I'm gonna have 2 or 3 accounts in this one. And I would start off if you just want to get a feel for it, you didn't play any PBE, I'd make an account and play your first 2 weeks like you were playing. And this is only if you're trying to do rank climbing. Like, if you're playing normal, just go in there, have fun, do whatever you want to do. If you're trying to play ranked, maybe make an account in the first 2 weeks while like the hardcore pro players and people that are like in high tiers are starting their climb as well, and you're gonna be fighting against these people that might be a little bit stronger than you. Let them kind of get to where they need to be or where they're used to being. And in the first 2 weeks, you just go jump in there, play on an account you're not actually gonna be playing your ranked on, and just start reading up on units. Buy the unit, read it, be like, okay, that's kind of cool. Maybe what would happen if I put like a Hodge on this champion, and just play different synergies. Read all the units. Like, it only took me about a week to get the handle on most of these units. Like, it's overwhelming at first. The encounters are kind of like a lot's going on at once when you first jump in, but it takes no time at all to feel like it's second nature, right? So jump in there, read the units, play around, see what works, have fun. That's what the game's meant to be, right? It's not meant to be like hardcore grinding. Everyone goes on like, the meta comps. We all contest the meta comps. You're not having fun after like a month. It's meant to be like, you do some weird build that no one's seen, all of a sudden, like, everyone's going like, the game's just going crazy, like, you're doing crazy damage. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, like, how'd you build that? Like, that's the kind of stuff that like makes the game fun, right? And metas are constantly evolving. Like, so just because you're playing something that like other people aren't playing, like, why would you play that? It's like, and a good example is last set. So Seraphine reroll, like, early in the game, like, no one like really would ever consider Seraphine reroll being a strategy, right? They'd be like, that champion sucks. And then one pro player started playing Seraphine reroll and kept playing it, winning games. And then they're like, oh, wait a minute, that's actually not that bad. And what ended up happening, the pros adapted it into their meta comp, saying like, hey, this is actually a viable option. So don't be scared to play whatever you want to play. Like I said, if you want to do a rank climb, maybe spend your first week. If you haven't played any of the PBE, just get used to champions, let them iron out some patches. And yeah, just kind of get used to units. And then when you're like, okay, I kind of have a good understanding of what I want to play, jump on your rank. You'll climb so much quicker, guaranteed, guys. Don't waste your first couple of rank games if you didn't play the PBE. Don't waste your first couple of rank games just jumping in there and picking stuff and being like, oh, okay, this is the meta. I got this augment. Like, it's a lot to take in when you first jump into the set. I'd honestly recommend minimal, a couple days to a week of just playing, having fun, reading the units, trying different builds, do your thing, right? So enough of that spiel. We can go back over to here. Oh, this is just kind of going through traits. This is also on Mobalytics. Like, Mobalytics has everything. There's another page I used for Heartsteel last set. So I preloaded this. It's on set 11. This is actually showing you more of a snapshot. I don't know where they get these stats from because it is a PBE, so I don't even know where they... Oh, here's some set 11 PBE. We'll up this, like, they'll update this list constantly as meta evolves. Exactly, right? So they're saying this is like really strong, the PBE, but this is like maybe 1 or 2 person's take on it. This isn't necessarily the best. It's just like they probably had like one crazy game. It was like, oh my god, this like it's definitely, or it's statistically they might take the stats from multiple games, then kind of combine it and be like, okay, this comp's been overperforming. So you can go into here. I guess Tactor's got a better snapshot right now. You can see what's playing. So Dragonlord Altruist, that's actually a pretty strong comp. Dragonlords are huge, and Altruists give you your team armor and MR, so that's good. Mythics are really fun. Like nothing that I play. Like I'll be playing a lot of Umbral. I think Umbral's in a really good spot. The champions I'd be looking out for when you're climbing. So if we go back to here, I'll actually go to champions. So Azir, really good spot. Well, I'll actually go through the champions and then we'll leave it at that. So Azir, really good spot. Very powerful backline carry. Throws out these little dummies that are kind of like, they kind of like act like a training dummy. They just go out, they don't do any damage, but they just kind of like, people have to attack it. They'll block the path a little bit. Mythic, this, I don't play this too much as a damage. I can't speak to that. But they will put like a spot on your bench where you can put a champion in there, and Hui, I think is how it's pronounced, will duplicate that champion, and it's based on the cost of that champion. So if you put a 1 cost Caitlyn in there, every round he'll duplicate that champion, you'll get another 1 cost Caitlyn. If you put like a 4 cost like Ornn in there, after 4 combats you'll get another Ornn. So it's just a way to try to get 3 stars if you are missing a couple units. Aurelia is broken. I can't really speak too much to that other than the fact that she's amazing. Kills the addition. This is the triple red I was talking about. So there's like green and blue, I think, are your options. Triple red's just what people are doing. So that's how you'd want to build your kill if you're doing story weavers. Lysandra also OP. I don't think any of the actual 5 costs are in a bad spot right now. Like none of them remind me of like Kayn in the last set where it was just trash, you know? Udir's really strong. Set's gonna be, you're gonna see mostly a lot of sets. Set and Udir's. Wukong's pretty good, but he has 3 different cycles. I don't see a lot of people doing crazy builds with Wukong yet, but like I said, I've been watching a lot of people. I've been trying to do it myself. Xayah, very good backline. Xayah and Rakan. Oh no, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Oh wait, what? Okay. Okay, that's not the one I'm thinking of. That's her pairing. So one is Xayah, the other one's Rakan, so she'll be the backline. That's not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Kai'Sa. So Xayah will be backline, Rakan will be the front, depending on which way you play them. They'll choose their position. Annie, very good tank, plays in a fortune if you want to do that route. Kai'Sa is the one I was thinking of. Kai'Sa is a very strong backline carry, so is Ashe. These are your 4 costs. If you can get either one of these into your team comp, I would definitely recommend it for backline carry. Both extremely powerful. Galio's a massive tank. He will actually taunt enemies and give your team around him a buff or a shield, I guess. Kayn, Lee Sin, and Lilia, all 3 carries. The one I'm just going to showcase the ones I think that are really important to look at. Morgana, very strong as well. Nautilus is pretty good. He does shockwaves. It's a little bit of a CC disruption. Very good at annoying people in the backline. Ornn is one of my favorite tanks right now. He'll duplicate. He'll like take a second to chill on his anvil, like crack his anvil, and then he'll toss items out to your units. Very good. Alun's going to be your backline carry for Umbral. Very strong. Good build on her. I'd probably swap out for Morello's and put like Kriklos. And then I would just give a Sunfire Cape to a frontline. Syndra, pretty strong. These are all your 4 costs. Amumu's kind of like a healer tank, so don't let his build be deceiving. I've seen on a previous video people put like the Archer or the, what is it? Arcanist emblem on Amumu. He does heal himself and allies, so his tiers will do a lot of good work for you. Bard's being pretty powerful right now. Philos is good. So I'm not going to go through all these units. I think Tom Kench actually eats somebody, but it doesn't say it in his freaking toolkit, but I've seen him eat somebody. All these units, guys, feel free to scroll through this page, see what you're looking at. Like I said, you can kind of read up on them if you want to ahead of time while you're waiting for the set. You can watch other people play, which I don't necessarily find as fun in a PBE environment. I'd rather see it myself the first time, jump in, because it is 4 weeks long, right? I'll watch a couple videos, like I'll watch people like Mort Dog just because, you know, he's the main TFT guy, you know, he's the main dev, so if anything, I'll watch his games. But yeah, Mobalytics, Tactor, these are the sites you can go to. I will not do a snapshot of what I'm doing probably until the first week or 2 of the set. I usually like to jump in there and have a little bit of fun, goof around. I'll be jumping right into ranked because I have played the PBE and I kind of understand the characters a little bit more right now. But if I hadn't played the PBE, I would, like in previous sets when I haven't played the PBE, I've made an account. I've started my first week off just learning because it doesn't feel good going in there and just striking up a bunch of 7s and 8s because everyone else has played the PBE is just dominating you, right? That's not a good time, right? So definitely go in there and learn. It's gonna be around a long time. Don't feel like you're behind somebody if you take a week to learn everybody while everyone else is trying to do ranked games and they're climbing. Because at the end of the day, it's your ELO and your MMR. So like, if you're losing a lot of games while you're trying to figure the game out, you're gonna get less and less LP for your wins, right? So keep that in mind. Like you can actually ruin your MMR. Like I did in set 10 on my main account because I played so many goofy games. Like I get first and I get like 25 LP. I get like an 8th, I'd lose like 80. Like this is not this is rough, you know? So guys, jump in there, have fun, play around. That's all I can say to it. These two sites, keep your eyes on them if you are looking for meta snapshots. Like I said, I don't normally go to these sites. I will if I'm trying to get to the next tier and I just need like a really strong comp to like push me ahead. But I already kind of have an idea from playing the game where I think the game's going to go for metas. And I'll also reference these if I want to like see what everyone's playing, because if I go in here, it's like Story Weaver number 1, Mythic Meeps is number 2, Warden's number 3, Deadly Dumplings is number 4. These are all S tier comps. I can guarantee in at least 90% of my games, there's gonna be at least 3 or 4 people playing this, and it's just because it's the way like North America is. We're an echo chamber. One person puts out the meta, so many players just like, okay, that's what I gotta build, and they start building that. So then I'll be like, okay, well, this seems pretty heavily contested. All these units are going to be getting bought up. So what down here in the B tier or A tier can I build? Like what's left, right? And I'll start building like my team comps around what's not being bought as much, so I'm not contested. That's just my 2 cents on it though. But yeah, definitely check these pages out, guys. That's enough of me talking about the same thing. And like and subscribe if you're new to this. We'll be doing more videos like this very soon. It's coming out in 2 days. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.